is your camera. Camera can see you dying.
I'm gonna do steady state cardio, guys. I don't do this. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Long time no see, no chat, no upload. I'm not gonna apologize. It's been a rough time. It's been a very rough time, but anyway, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Paciane. I'm currently in Joburg. I just realized I don't have an intro, so I'm not gonna say anything. But those of you that are returning subscribers, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy that you're back. I'm so happy that you've stuck with me. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep looking down because I have my notes and stuff. You probably see that the background is different as well. I am at my childhood home. I hope the lighting is good. This is natural light, guys, but the sun is like setting, so it's not going to be that great, but it's great, but it's not that great. But you know, we do what we can. As you can see, yes, I no longer have dreadlocks. I recently did a big chop. Yeah, I did a big chop. I didn't like what I was seeing in the mirror anymore, but it really had nothing to do with my hair. It just had more to do with how I was feeling. I was just really ill. If you clicked on this video because of the title, you're probably watching it because you've either seen my first video or you actually have an ovarian cyst or are suspecting that you have an ovarian cyst, and I am your sister here to help you through that. And through that time I will be making quite a few videos about my journey. My journey started in August of 2020 when I had a laparatomy. What that means basically is that it's open surgery, so I do have a C-section scar. And if you want to know more about the procedure that I got done in 2020, I will stick the video somewhere up here or up there or wherever, or I'll just put it in the comments so that you can go and watch that, because we're trying to, as I was saying, I am at my childhood home, so disturbances while I'm filming are many and will be many. By the way, I did do my makeup myself. I might actually upload the video of me doing my makeup just because my brother said I should film it, but it's not the greatest video ever. But that's where you'll get to see me in my true form. Well, this is pretty much my true form, but you'll get to see me in my true form. Post-op 2020, and I returned for a checkup because I wasn't feeling well. I do just want to preface and say that these are my symptoms and this is my experience, so all the symptoms that I do talk about, my experience and everything that I do give a definition of or anything like that, it's literally purely based on me and my journey and my experience. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a certified doctor. I am not a gynecologist. I'm not an obstetrician, so please do your research. But I would like to urge you, especially if you're a woman, I would love to urge you to fight for what you feel. You know your body best, and no one, I repeat, no one can know your body more than you do, especially when it comes to your reproductive system. If you feel that there's something there, find a doctor that will check, okay? If your doctor says no, find someone that will check. Don't go with your concerns to a GP. If you do have the resources to go and see a gynecologist or an obstetrician, please go and see them. And if you are in Joburg or if you're in any other province in South Africa and you want to go and see my specific gynecologist, please do reach out to me and I will give you his details. Yes, he's a man, but he has my best interest at heart and has had my best interest at heart from the moment I walked into his office. I received so much clarity on what I was going through and what was happening to my body, and I knew what decisions I would have to make before I even had to make them. So I urge you, please, if you are feeling the symptoms, if you feel like something is wrong in your body, find a doctor that will check. The ultrasound that is done over your tummy, sometimes that's not enough. If your doctor doesn't have an intravaginal ultrasound, find a doctor that has one and get them to interpret the results with you. Get them to give you copies of your results. That reminds me, I need to get my results so that I can show you guys my sisters or my babies as I like to call them. But I want to say 6 weeks post-op when I found out that I had 2 more ovarian cysts. So this was with my first gynecologist. My first gynecologist found out that I had the cysts, and I didn't have any issues at that point in time besides a bit of pain and discomfort here and there, but I didn't think it was anything serious, and he would just tell me to keep coming for routine checkups. So I would keep going for routine checkups until the year of 2022. So 2022 in March is when I did my big chop, and to my surprise I had a lot of bald spots all over my head. I don't know when I'll feel confident enough to actually share pictures of that or like images of that, or if I'll even attach it in this video while I'm editing. I don't know, but I had a lot of patches. I experienced a lot of hair loss. I didn't know because my dreadlocks were really long and healthy. I didn't know I'd lost that much hair, but the big chop revealed that I'd lost quite a bit of hair and came to terms with it. Later on I realized that it was basically a symptom of what I was going through with my ovaries, with the cysts and things like that. Around January 2022 I started feeling a lot of severe back pain. In February I thought it was my kidneys, just because I was in prep for a competition and I was ingesting a lot of protein, and I was on a caloric deficit. So in my head I thought maybe my body's just going through something, and my coach also thought that it was probably my kidneys just struggling with digesting the protein and things like that, only to find out that it wasn't. Yeah, but anyway, I found that out later on. So as time went on, my symptoms started increasing, and these symptoms are, I'm just going to read off the list because I do know them off by heart, but I don't want to miss anything, so I wrote everything down. So yes, my symptoms were back pain, lower back pain more than anything else, and I thought the pain was from doing deadlifts and hip thrusts, just because it would become worse from doing those 2 exercises, but also because that's the only type of pain I could associate it with. Yeah, but yeah, I had back pain, and then I had pelvic pain as well on the right and the left, and then I had painful ovulation, I had painful periods, and I had irregular periods. So sometimes I would have like full-blown period, but it would last like more than 12 days and I'd have to go to the doctor, or I would have like spotting, which was during the time that I was supposed to have a period, or I would have several periods. You know what it is. And then the other thing that I had, which was similar to the first time I had a cyst, was heartbeat-like motions in my pelvic area. And I actually asked my gynecologist about that recently, and he told me that it is just a symptom that comes with having an ovarian cyst. So you'll basically get that. And I had extreme bloating. I also had I felt nauseated majority of the time. I was vomiting as well. I also had fever, I had smell sensitivity, and I had cravings for specific foods, and I also had sensitivity to specific food, and then of course I had hair loss as well. The thing that was tricky is that my symptoms went from just back pain to literally all of these amplified, like crazy, and yeah, I ended up going to the ER because of all of these symptoms. So the space between me going to the ER and me starting to feel the back pain was like a few months. And so when I went to my now gynae, which is the second gynecologist I've ever had in my life, when I went to him, I explained to him my history with my previous experience with ovarian cysts, and explained to him that I had gotten a teratoma removed. So when he heard that, he was very like shocked because I didn't know at the time, but basically when you do have a cyst that is a teratoma, it takes over your ovary, so you don't have much ovary left. when you do get it removed, just because it takes up so much of the space within your ovary, and it's in your ovary, as you know. So to his knowledge at that point in time, he had thought that I didn't have a right ovary, but we found out that I did have both my ovaries still. Still had to operate. So April of 2022, I had a laparoscopy done by this new gynae now. So what a laparoscopy is, it's keyhole surgery. You only have 3 small incisions, the main, which is on your belly button, and they basically inflate your stomach with a lot of gas, and then the 2 other incisions are for your doctor to be able to get inside and basically remove the cyst, put it in a little bag, and then suck it out. That's why it's small incisions, and the recovery from that surgery is a bit faster than the first surgery. My first surgery, it was hell. The second one, it was still hell, but I healed a lot quicker than I did from my first one. With this surgery that was done in April, my doctor had to basically remove my right ovary because this was the second teratoma that was found in the right ovary. And when he did get inside to actually see what was going on, I will put a picture up here. He found that both my ovaries were actually sitting behind my uterus, which explained why we couldn't see 2 ovaries in the ultrasound and we could only see 1, because they were both basically sitting right next to each other behind my uterus. And the problem with that is, had I gone to the hospital maybe 2-3 days later, my ovaries would have I would have experienced something called ovarian torsion, yeah, which is bad. You can go Google that. I'll put all the terms here so you can Google it for yourself, because I'm not going to go through every single term and explain every single term. I'm just going to explain what happened to me. So basically what was found within the cyst, you'll see with the pictures, you'll see the pictures. The cyst that I had hair in it, and there was pus. There was green pus, which is an indication of an infection, but the infection hadn't spread yet. It was literally still in my ovary, but that is the reason why I had fever and I was feeling so sick as well, was because the pus in the ovary was just wreaking havoc. And in the left ovary I had a functional cyst, which my doctor cleaned out, and after cleaning it out, he just made sure there was nothing there, and there was nothing there, and he just left that ovary like that, and it was fantastic. So I'm just going to speak a little bit about post-surgery recovery for those of you who want to know. So basically, post-surgery recovery is like 8 to 12 weeks. Well, that's the recommended time for recovery, is 8 to 12 weeks. I had strict bed rest for 2 weeks. 2 full weeks I spent it in bed, and between week 3 and 4 I started driving again. And the symptoms that made me go to the emergency room, they were quite severe. It started off with backache at the beginning of this year, 2020. I don't know why I keep saying 2022. I don't know why I keep saying 2022 as if it's a year that's passed, just because I'm filming this and it's like literally the 7th of July 2022. So this wasn't a long time ago, only because I was feeling well. Had I not been feeling well, I wouldn't have started driving. I won't recommend for anyone who is not feeling well. And when I say bed rest, I mean you're literally in bed all day every day. And week 6 to 8 was when I could start wearing like normal clothes that would sit over my belly button, and clothes that were, I won't say tight, but tighter than usual. However, since it was winter in South Africa, I did start having a lot of cold sensitivity. For about the first 6 weeks post-op, I had a lot of sensitivity to the cold, and it was hell. It was hell, because if I got too cold, I would literally just be in so much pain, and I would have to just drink painkillers and sleep. In a nutshell, this was my experience of my second, I won't say second ovarian cyst, because it was probably like the third or fourth, but it was the second surgery. So first surgery was 2020 August, second surgery was April 2022. With this one, it wasn't a shock like the first one. With the first one, it was a really big shock, also just because I found out and then I had to remove it quite quickly as well. I basically found out about the cyst on a Saturday, and on a Tuesday I had to be in hospital removing it, which is quite hectic if you ask me. But that's just because with my first cyst experience, I didn't have symptoms. The only symptoms I had was the heartbeat-like motion, and at that point in time I didn't know that it was an ovarian cyst symptom, and my gynecologist at that time didn't tell me that that was one of the symptoms that would let you know that you had an ovarian cyst. So I wasn't aware that it was a symptom, and I would have pain during ovulation as well. And yeah, those are the two things that I experienced the most with my first experience with an ovarian cyst. So I didn't really know that I had one. To me, everything seemed normal, but my symptoms did go from 0 to 100 as well, just before I went to go and see my gynae for the very first time with my first one. So with this second one, things did go from 0 to 100, but I knew what was going on, because from December 2020 I knew that I had more ovarian cysts. And basically when you get an ovarian cyst, they basically just tell you, don't worry about it. If it's not giving you pain, if it's not giving you any other symptoms, don't worry about it. If you're able to function, don't worry about it. If you can take painkillers so that it's better, blah blah blah, don't worry about it. So I did quite ignore it. I wish I didn't, but I did ignore it. And they also say things like, if it doesn't grow too quickly, then don't worry about it and stuff like that. And they just kind of tell you to monitor it, especially if you had surgery to remove one. But the thing is, with this types of cysts that I have or had, you can't keep them too long. So if they are growing rapidly, you have to remove them. If they're giving you too much pain, you have to remove them, just because a teratoma is very different from a fluid-filled cyst. The bigger it gets, the more space it takes up, number one. Number two, the more dangerous it becomes if it does rupture, because the contents of cysts like that are things like hair, teeth, bones, skin, nails, and you never know what you have inside it, and they can never tell you what you have inside it. But I really, really appreciate and like the gynecologist that I have now, just because he taught me how to see. He told me to see the difference in a scan between a functional cyst and a teratoma, or what Americans call a dermoid cyst, which is part of the reason why I was asking you guys to find a doctor who's actually going to give you an intravaginal ultrasound so that you can actually see what is going on. Because every checkup that I've had, I managed to get this. Which is what pregnant women would get, but when you do have an ovarian cyst, it is what you would get, because the cysts are basically the same area that a baby would be. But also that's where you get to see where the cyst is, how big it is. That's how you get to monitor it as well. And with the one that I have, I would show you, but it's not too clear, like you can't really see. But this area here is where the cysts are, and then there's some gray matter that is within that area, and that gray matter basically means that it is a teratoma and it's not a functional cyst. Functional cysts are usually just fluid filled, and teratomas have actual matter inside them. Well, matter is water, water is matter, but they have like solids in it. Yeah, so that is my story of my second experience of surgery to remove an ovarian cyst. And the first and second time I had teratomas. They were both teratomas. And yeah, if you have any questions about ovarian cysts or what to pack in your bag for surgery or how to get ready for surgery, please leave the questions down below and I'll make sure to either make a video answering them or I'll just answer them separately. I will be making another video. I just didn't want to make this video too long because my first video was a story time and it was really long, but it was needed to be a story time because it was a shock for me as well. And yeah, but with this one I wanted to make it sweet and short and just straight to the point, just because I don't want to overflood you with information. But if there are people that want to know more about it, I want to be able to tell them more about it. But I've basically shared what I thought was most important, and also what I liked was that my gynae also took pictures of the area where he was working. So he took pictures of what it looked like before he did anything, and then he took pictures of what it looked like once he'd made incisions in my ovaries, and he also took pictures of what it looked like once he was done removing the cyst and once he was done cleaning everything out. And also I have 3 incisions. So I have an incision on my belly button, on my left pelvic area, just almost by my pelvic bone, and then on my stomach between my belly button and the side of my stomach. I don't know how to explain it, but I might show pictures of what my scars look like if I can just find one that is appropriate enough, or just edit one out properly for you, but I'll put it there. And yeah, that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you made it to the end, please put a cherry emoji and show me some love in the comments. Please like this video. If you're not subscribed yet, would you please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time in my next video.
Mama put me on. Mama put me